All right, let's see if we're actually live now. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, there we go. Let's see if I'm actually live. Okay. It seems we are live. It seems that it is working. It's been a bit of a go. Good morning, everyone from China. This is, of course, Sirant trying out something different today. Um, I've in the past done my live streaming, pardon me, from my phone, which is fine and dandy outside, but it does drain the battery. And I thought I'd try something a little different. As Spring Festival approaches, it gets much louder outside with kids blasting off fireworks and things of that nature, which is it can be amusing, but it can also scare the crap out of you. But the rainy season will be coming soon, so making outdoor videos and streams is going to be a little more challenging. It's going to be a lot more wet. And to be honest, I just wanted to try streaming back here in my office. I've got everything set up looking nicely here. I've got this new picture here that I recently purchased. I like it very much. I do love Chinese traditional uh, landscapes. Hey, Charles. Yeah, it is cold in Toronto. I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. It is t-shirt weather here. Thank you for joining me today, and let me know if everything sounds okay. Like I said, this is a big test for me for a number of reasons. Not just because I want to do some live streams and videos that aren't necessarily outside or aren't utilizing the telephone, but also I'm having some issues with one of my VPN providers. They're going through a transition right now, and due to that transition, it's a little bit inconsistent on my main computer. So I'm actually doing this live stream from my little Minis Forum mini computer, my mini PC. I love Minis Forum, by the way. The company is here in Shenzhen, but they do sell their products exclusively in Canada, America, and the EU. And I can't recommend these guys enough. I love their PCs. I love their gear. I've got three of them myself. So I'm running Linux on this little mini PC. And in the past, I've had problems with the software, with OBS Studio on Windows, that when I wanted to live stream, it wouldn't connect to the YouTube servers. And this is a common problem that a lot of people have had. So I thought, well, I've got Linux running on this mini PC. I've got a stable VPN running on Linux on that mini PC. So let's try OBS streaming software here and see if that works better. Lo and behold, it appears to be working quite well at the moment. My stream quality is good. The audio quality seems to be okay. It's not dropping any frames, so that's great. I would love to be able to just pick up and do live streams and make videos on the spot without having to set up gear. So if this goes well today, I may well turn this mini PC into my live streaming box, which would be very, very helpful. It's even running over Wi-Fi right now, connected to my home network. So there's every possibility of having difficulties, but so far so good. So far so good. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm not sure if this microphone is good enough to pick up the assorted little bangs and booms outside my window. One of those right here. And that is from the kids blasting off fireworks. It is almost Spring Festival, so since January 1st, they've been non-stop, relentlessly blowing off firecrackers, and not so much fireworks. The kids don't care about the light shows in the sky anymore. All they care about is the biggest bang possible when it comes to firecrackers. I remember firecrackers when I was a kid, and yeah, they were fun, they were interesting, but they're also very illegal in Canada, and we'd be able to get them from time to time, but they are risky. They are absolutely risky. I mean, there is a big possibility of blowing your fingers off, and it does happen. It does happen here. So yeah, doing a little live stream. I figured I'd do a little test and see how it goes today. So far, so good. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about moving forward with the channel. I know that I've been making videos primarily just about daily life. They slowed down tremendously in the past little while. I had a bit of a bike accident, which injured me and kept me from getting out and about as much as I normally would be. And then right after that, I got probably the worst head and chest cold that I've had in the past decade. It was awful. So I didn't want to make videos coughing and hacking and looking like something that just crawled out of the grave. So I figured I'd make a few videos and show some of my older stuff that I hadn't published before. But I think moving forward, it's time to get back into my more generic content, not just about daily life here in China, but also on other topics. For example, the increasing relationship between Canada and China, which is really, really great news. For example, I haven't tested this or looked into it specifically yet, but theoretically, thanks to Mark Carney coming to China and making very, very positive trade relationships with President Xi, apparently Canadians now can travel to China visa-free. So, if you were ever thinking, gosh, I'd really like to go see China, and I've got a little bit of money saved up for an air ticket. Once you get here, it's cheap. Trust me, it's cheap. You can get nice hotel rooms for $20 a night. Now you don't even need to go through the hassle of the visa process, which in the past was quite detailed. You would have had to go, for example, if you were in Edmonton, you would have had to go to Calgary, to the consulate there. You would have had to provide all the pictures, information, and etc., everything you needed. Then you'd also need to provide a hotel that you were going to be staying at, your information, traveling back and forth, etc., etc. It could be considered a pain in the butt. And there would be that in-person interview, or having to deliver the papers either in person or via courier back and forth between the consulate. Now apparently, and I will look into this and I will make a video and talk about it further, but apparently you can just show up in China with your passport. Does it make it any easier for me or for people that want to retire in China? No. We've still got to do the visa process, and it's not a simplified process. Who knows, in the future that may change, but it's not like other countries, like Thailand, for example, that do have a retirement visa program in place to encourage people to come and retire in China or in Thailand. China simply doesn't have that. They're not encouraging people to come here and retire. It's unfortunate, but it's fact, really. The best way, if you are done working, especially if you're retiring and you're done working and you're not interested in getting a business or a work visa, you're pretty much, the only option you have is marrying a local and then getting a spouse visa, at which point you can't work anymore. Morning coffee. Freshly ground Yunnan coffee. Delicious. Love it. But yeah, I'm still about a year and a half away from my next visa, which I'm hoping is going to be a permanent residence, which will give me a lot more freedom to work at any company I want to without needing a work visa. I'm honestly considering going to university. I did go to university here for a year, but that's all I was allowed to do at that time because I was working as well. So on a work visa, you can go to university and study Chinese for 2 semesters, 1 year. But to go beyond that, from years 2 to 4, you must be registered as a student with a student visa, and that would mean I would be unable to work. So that didn't work out for me at the time. So I really missed out on the entire university process. Not only was I only able to attend the morning classes, since I'd have to start working in the afternoons, but I wasn't able to take my Chinese education further, which is something that I really, really want to do. And I want to have that whole university experience. So that's kind of the plan. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Now, pardon me for a moment. I'm going to just check over here on the other stream. 1 second. For a moment, I'm going to just check over here on the other stream. Okay, just checking the live stream myself. I can see that the audio is working. Again, it's not the best. All right. Let me just fix that. For whatever reason, my USB mic, this beauty here, just died. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I might not have known otherwise. I was not looking at the actual software, but it does appear to be back now. Please, okay, good, great. Yeah, geez, interesting. I'm just gonna have to break down now. The microphone on this camera does work, but I know that it's not particularly good quality. But thanks again for letting me know. I really appreciate that. That's good. But as I was saying, and you probably didn't get any of it. I'm not sure how much you got or didn't get. The reason for setting up this little recording area and streaming area again is as much as it's convenient to do it on the phone. It's inconvenient in that when I want to record a video or do a live stream, I've got to pack up the tripod, the camera, the microphone, head out, find somewhere quiet. Where at this point, with kids being out of school, everywhere I go, I get swarmed with kids. So my live streams would become very noisy. You'd see a lot of kids screaming and trying to get into the video and just basically causing a ruckus. When it's super hot, of course, I'll be sweating and hot. And sometimes I just have an idea for a live stream or video right now. And by the time I get everything all set up and head out to do it, the feeling is gone, let's say. So, yes, I wanted to set up this little environment here and make more on the cuff type of videos. And as I was saying earlier, I'm not sure again if the microphone had cut out by that time. I want to start making more generic content again, not just about my daily life and what it's like to live here, but also talking about other things like the increasingly beneficial relationship between Canada and China, the visa-free policy for places like Canada now, thanks to these new trade negotiations and this increased sense of friendship and unity. I'm going to make a video about that actually today. I'll probably post it later. Yeah, yeah, the volume would be lower. Like I said, this is a cheap, cheap microphone. I will either steal my good one back or just purchase another one there. As much as it's a very nice quality one, it's not expensive. I think I paid 17 or $18 Canadian dollars for the microphone that's in the other room. Whereas this one, I maybe paid $2, but it's still, the sound quality is still a little better than the Logitech, but yeah, a work in progress. Oh, Yang, good afternoon. How you doing? Good afternoon indeed. Almost afternoon here. It's 11:48. Still drinking my morning coffee. But yeah. So I've got the nice new picture over here. I've got the Arhu, the Arhu over here, ukulele. Yet, lighting off firecrackers yet? OMG, they've been lighting them off since about December 24th, non-stop. At January 1st, it was insane. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit. But the kids are all officially on break. They get a month off school here. So they're off 2 weeks even before the Spring Festival actually starts. More than 2 weeks, actually. So yeah, my microphone I don't think is quite good enough quality to hear it, but it's non-stop. If I stop talking for 20 seconds and put the microphone near the window, you'll hear them. And some of them are huge. Always, non-stop. Luckily, I'm in a neighborhood with very, very low population density. So even though there are a bunch of kids around, it's not quite like some of the neighborhoods. When I used to live in Futian, in a very, very crowded neighborhood, it was like living in a war zone. It was just non-stop, day and night. Like so many, it was like machine guns. It's just insane. But yeah, I feel bad for the pets and the wild animals in the neighborhood because they just don't get what the hell's going on. Every year at this time of year, this must be hell for them. It's like hunting season. But yeah, they're going off like crazy. They are going off like crazy. I'm not going to be doing anything for Chinese New Year this year. Simply because we don't go back to the hometown every year. I do have videos showing the hometown, the village, the big party from years gone by, but this is going to be an interesting year for me because for the last several years I've been in Shenzhen, and I also have videos available that show that Shenzhen at Spring Festival literally becomes a ghost town. All the businesses close, the vast majority of the people leave, and it's incredibly quiet. But now, being in a different city, this is going to be more of a home base for a lot of the older folks. So it could be more interesting. There could be a lot more people and a lot more activities going on. No, no, Young, they aren't doing that yet. I've only heard that a couple of times with those firecracker chains going off. Not yet. Not yet, but that's coming. That's coming. I heard that more in the factory district. Every time a new business would open, those firecrackers would be going off like machine guns. But it's not so bad over here. Hey, Mom, nice to see you. Live streaming from China, of course. My mother has joined the chat. Everybody, it's very nice. Just talking about some of the new stuff I've got going on. I'm going to start making some fun videos. I see a lot of videos on YouTube about people buying crap from Temu. The Temu is the cheapest possible online marketplace, right? It's the dollar store of online marketplaces, but even worse oftentimes. They also have Temu here, of course. The parent company in China is called Pinduoduo, and you get what you pay for. But I'm gonna start making some videos where I start showing you some of those things so that you can determine for yourself whether it's worth the $2 and 2 months shipping time to buy some of those funky things. Like, for example, this watch I'm wearing here. Now, it's obviously meant to look like a Rolex Mariner. It's actually very, very nice. The quality is it's pretty dark here right now, actually. Let's see if I can... Yeah, the lighting is not ideal, but it is meant to look like... or is it a Mariner or Submariner? I don't know. It's one of the Rolex watches. It's very heavy. It looks very nice, but it doesn't actually say Rolex on it. It's not a knockoff Rolex. It's just a similar to Rolex product. I bought it just as a fashion accessory and as a novelty item, and you won't believe what I paid for it. You really won't. No, this one doesn't even come with the fake certificate. It doesn't say Rolex. It's what brand is that? It's almost 12 o'clock, so the hour hand is right over top of the name. It's Coden or something. Doesn't say Rolex anywhere on it. The box doesn't say Rolex. But actually, the best thing about this thing is it did come with something that I really, really do like, and which made the entire purchase worthwhile. And that's this. This is one of those little devices that you use for removing the pins from the watch band so you can lengthen or shorten the band without having to use a little poker thing to get those things out. This is brilliant. I've never had one of these tools before, and I've always wanted one. And I would have paid what I paid for the watch and this just for this tool. I literally paid $4 Canadian for this watch. It looks great. It's heavy. It's amazing. I'll show you more of that, though, in upcoming videos. I've kind of gone on a little spending spree where I've spent, ridiculous amounts of money. Like, we're talking $20. I spent $20 to buy a box full of nifty little gadgets and doodads and things just to show. And I'll show you the pages where I bought them from. I'll show you how much I paid for them. And I'll tell you whether or not I consider them to be worthwhile buying. So that if you did want to go on to Temu and purchase one of those type of things, then you'd have a better idea of what you're actually getting. Some of them are really, really good deals, and some of them are just not. Like, here's another one. I'll show you quickly here. This is a Bluetooth headset, and it just slides on over the ear like this. It says in the ad that it is bone conduction. It's not. It's just a little speaker inside. But surprisingly, the sound quality is very good. It's not something you'd want to listen to music on, but it does work well enough as a communication device. It's lightweight. Like I said, you just flick it on your ear. It sits there, and away you go. I use this when I'm bike riding, so I can listen to music and answer the phone, things like that, without having to have earbuds popped into my ears, because of course my earbuds are very good quality, but they block off the sound. I'd rather hear what's going on around me, especially when I'm riding my bicycle. But yeah, so this little guy was $1.20 Canadian, so under $1 American. Works great. have no problem with that. The watch here is very, very nice. I have several other watches I'm going to show you in an upcoming video, but this was $4, $4 Canadian. It's heavy. It came with the time set correctly and the date set correctly. Yeah, what else can I say? But yeah, I'm going to start making some videos that kind of share some of these really interesting little gadgets that you may have seen on Temu or AliExpress and places like that, and thought, I wonder if it's worth it. Well, I'll show you, and you can make that determination yourself. But yeah, today, like I said, today is just a little short stream because I haven't been making that many videos due to illness and bicyclacs and stuff like that, and just I don't know, generally being busy. Yes, oh, definitely. There's an amazing, apparently, street market just down the street, not far from where I'm at. I may go there even tonight and take some video. But this area, it's insane. It's literally insane. I went out with a buddy of mine who took me to a street market near the beach in Aotou district of Huizhou, and it was beyond massive, just insanity. Restaurants, street vendors, street food, even beer trucks that had fresh homebrewed, what do they call it, IPA beer available from the back of the truck from these really, really nice machines, several different flavors, several different types, fresh barbecue, seafood, crazy. The first time I went there was a few months ago with one of my friends, and it turned into one of those things where for the first time in probably 20 years, probably more than 20 years, I was out till 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting on a little chair this high, near the beach, playing the Shizi, the Chinese dice game with my friends. Just crazy. No, it's not a recently upgraded area. It's an old established area near the beach, absolutely. But one thing about this smaller city is they don't focus so much on the facelifts and the upgrades because it's just the local people coming here. Places like Shenzhen, Guangzhou, the big cities, the tourist attractions, of course, they're going to really pump those places out. But they don't really focus so much on that, which I don't mind. I don't mind. I like the older, more rundown places, the more lived-in looking places, to be honest. There are, of course, I'll show some of those places as well. There are places with brand new shopping centers. There's two of them. One is 10 minutes bike ride away. The other is 20 minutes bike ride away. Amazing places that just explode at night. Again, with street vendors, restaurants, but it's a lot fancier because it's a beautiful brand new shopping center with Ferris wheels on the roof. Beautiful light displays. I mean, it's amazing. But I tend to turn more towards the older places, the older ends of town. I don't know, I just find them more fun. And Mom, well, once I get my camera setup all working, I'll show you how I cook some dishes. Absolutely. I've actually created a new dish here in China that I absolutely love. Everybody knows, pretty much I think everybody knows what a BLT is, a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Well, in an effort to reduce carbohydrates, I decided, let's make it a little brighter here. I decided to try making a BLT soup. So it's a bacon, lettuce, and tomato soup. Fantastic. Easiest thing I ever made. Aside from cooking the bacon and cutting the lettuce, all the other ingredients I dump into my fancy Chinese blender, that blends, cooks, and does everything for me. I just dump the raw ingredients in, put in some spices and water. When it's done, I dump the bacon and the lettuce in, stir it all up. Delicious, love it. But yes, I will show you some cooking of traditional dishes. Maybe I'll make a little video here this week to show you what our current project is, which is drying meat on the balcony. Because at this time of year in China, it is, of course, the dry season. There's no rain. It's sunny and beautiful outside. As you can see, the sun is shining. It is overcast today, so it's not quite as sunny as it could be, but there's no rain. The air is much drier than normal, so this is the time of year to marinate big chunks of meat or sausage and then hang them outside to dry on the balcony. So that's what we've got going on right now. There's a small batch out there at the moment, but we will make a bigger batch in the future. I'm also going to set up this computer and the software a little bit more so that I can display not just the webcam here, but also some web pages and other things of that are from my own experiences or other things online, like Taobao, for example. There's some weird stuff on Taobao. It never ceases to amaze me, this weird food that you can order online. I do order a lot of food online, but yeah, I'll show you what I mean in an upcoming video. Jinhua ham. What? Not familiar. What is Jinhua ham? Let me see if I can come over here and do a quick googly search. Jinhua ham. Oh. Yeah, that's Jinhua ham. That is pretty much what we are cooking. It's not quite that dry, and it's a little fattier, but that looks good. I would totally eat that. Absolutely. Let me see. Now, I wonder if I did this, if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you some Jinhua ham. There we go. Is that visible? I really need to, if I want to do this right, I should set up a second monitor for if I'm going to live stream from my little mini PC. I don't have the second monitor set up for it at the moment, but I suppose I could. I could make that work. But yeah, Jinhua ham. This is what we're making right here. Let me pull up a picture of this. This is the dry pork belly. Now, this is a very dark version of it. And yeah, it's just out there hanging on the balcony right now. Only a couple pieces at the moment, but there's another 10 pounds of it being marinated as we speak. Let me see if I move this over here. Yeah, that'll be better. There we go. Lap Yuck La Ro cured pork belly. I do very much enjoy me some dried meat in China. It's lovely. Alright, let's go back to this here. Like I said, having the second monitor hooked up. I've got another monitor kicking around. It's just a matter of mounting it and making space. I think I can make it work. Yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. Oh, somebody's sneaking around over there. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. I'm a little bit hungry too. I haven't eaten yet today. I don't typically do breakfast, but I'm having Homemade McDonald's today. I know. People are going to say, what the heck are you talking about? Um, we do, of course, have McDonald's just down the street. I can have it delivered here in about 20 minutes. But for as, as far as delivery food and food in general goes, McDonald's is expensive in China. For example, if I wanted a typical hamburger, a sausage McMuffin with egg, it would run me about 25 renminbi, and McDonald's does charge delivery fee, unlike Chinese restaurants. So it would come up to about 30 renminbi, about $6, which is expensive. Fish maw soup, by the way, is very good. And pork belly in a Mexican taco. I guess Mexican people eat pork belly. Pulled pork, why not? But yeah, to buy a meal from McDonald's is expensive. However, we've got this fantastic little company here called Little Elephant, which is grocery delivery. And I can get the bread sent over. They don't have English muffins, but I can order those online from Taobao. I can get them very, very cheap. 10 cents per English muffin, delivered, fresh. But from Little Elephant, I can get my cheddar cheese. I can get my McDonald's style McCain hash browns, which work out lovely in the air fryer. I've got bacon, I've got eggs, so I just cook them up myself. Wonderful, delicious, and I don't need to spend any money on delivery. If I'm going to get food delivered, you can check out some of my short videos. I'll pay $2 and get noodles and dumplings or rice and vegetables. If I'm ever just not in the mood to cook or don't have time, they'll deliver me that stuff for dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. And if I ever really just want to go pig out and have a good time, I can either go to my, I love it now, my little Buddhist vegetarian buffet that's not far away. $5. $5. All you can eat. So good. I've never eaten vegetarian food so good. Or if I really want to treat myself, I can spend $20 and go to the Ramada Inn, the Ramada Hotel, big fancy hotel. Again, 10-minute bicycle ride away, 2 minutes in a Didi. Cost me about $2. And there I can have fresh sushi, steaks, pizza, Chinese dishes, Hong Kong dishes. It's a buffet. It's huge. They have wine they have beer on tap. They have a massive seafood and dessert area. It's insane. So if I ever really want to get down to some hardcore eating, which is not something I do often, I could always go do that as well. But those are options available to me. But honestly, if I'm just going to go eat something, I'll go down to one of the little restaurants downstairs. I know a lot of the owners in those restaurants now. I'll sit and chat with them, and like my little Chongfen restaurant, love it. $2 for not even $2, $1.50 for my favorite breakfast in the entire universe. And then there's fresh pickled peppers, pickled onions, pickled radish, and big jugs on the table that you can just help yourself to. Lovely. Today I'm drinking Yunnan coffee from Yunnan province, which is very close to Vietnam, Nepal, areas like that, where they grow very, very wonderful coffee. I love Vietnamese coffee, but Changfen is the best. It is the best. But I also have recently purchased wonderful coffee, OMG, from Hainan Island. Again, delivered. It's about $4 a pound, and it's insane. I can use half the amount of this Hainan coffee that I would with any other type of coffee and still get the same strength and richness of the other coffee. I just recently discovered this, and I've got a couple pounds of it now. I purchased a whole bunch because I just love it. I can also order on my phone here. I can order Luckin Coffee. Luckin Coffee is fantastic, and they're right down the street. And there's a co-buying application on my phone, which is just it's insane. So normally you'd spend 20 RMB for a cup of coffee. Oh, 400. Whenever a number starts with 400, it's advertising. It's somebody that wants to sell you something. I don't answer my phone, honestly, ever. I have two phones, two different phone numbers. I never answer my phones if they're ringing from the actual phone number because none of my friends, family, coworkers, anybody that I would normally talk to would ever call me on my phone number. Most of them don't know my phone number. Everything is WeChat. If it's somebody that I want to talk to, they'll call me. And it's exactly the same. My phone will ring, but it'll ring with WeChat. And then I'll talk to them exactly as if it were a standard phone call. So, changfen with savory shrimp paste. Sounds wonderful. I need to go back to Shanwei. That's the best changfen I've ever had in my life. It has different vegetables, different things inside of it than I've ever seen anywhere else. It had the long white mushrooms. It had bai cai, the white cabbage, the bok choy cabbage. It had pork in it. It had egg in it, and it had a yellow sauce, not a brown sauce, but a yellow sauce. So good, so good. But yeah, phone just rang. Like I said, I don't answer it. I don't answer it. It's just going to be, or sometimes if I'm in a mood, I'll answer it, and then I'll mess with the people, right? I'll sit there and I'll tell them in Chinese, 我不好意思，我是外国人，我不会说普通话. And the person will go, what? Because what I just said, for those of you that don't speak Chinese, is, I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner. I don't speak Chinese. 你会说英语吗? Do you speak English? And I do this to kids all the time too when they come up and talk to me. And I'll tell them, I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't speak Chinese. I'm a foreigner. But I'll tell them in Chinese, and they scratch their heads and go, but you just said in Chinese that you don't speak Chinese. So sometimes I'll mess with people online on the phone. If I know who it is, like, for example, if Didi is calling me. Didi calls me all the time because I do use Didi quite often. When I go to the train station, I will take a Didi there. It costs me $2, and then I take the high-speed train into Shenzhen. But yeah, I always mess with them. I always mess with them because I know it's them, and I know they're trying to sell me. They want me to get a Didi. It's not really a credit card, but it is. But it's Didi specific, so that I don't need to pay with my WeChat. I can just take Didis anywhere I want, anytime, and then pay at the end of the month type of thing. I don't think there's even interest, but it does have some benefits. Like you do get coupons. It does get cheaper. Yes, yes, Changfen from Shanwei is definitely different. Definitely different. It's not the same as it is here in every other Changfen place I've ever tried. Other than Hong Kong. Hong Kong, of course, it's also different again. But yeah, it was so good. And the place I went to, I will definitely go back to Shanwei and make a video specifically about that. I don't think I made it. I recorded a bit of video, but it wasn't really good. I wasn't set up for it at the time. The little shop I was in, which was right around the corner from my hotel, had been there for, I think they said like 50 years. Like there had been two or three generations of the owners running the same place, and oh, so good, so good. I actually absolutely loved it. But yeah, so I've got different content coming. Like I said, I'm going to make some content here. I'm going to show you some crazy, crazy stuff that I find on on Taobao, for example. Taobao can just be so nuts. Taobao can just be so insane. It's amazing. Oh, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do. I'm also messing around. I haven't done live streaming with OBS in a long time, so I've got to figure out how everything works again, so that I'm not just doing screen capture necessarily. So that I'm getting, I want to get more of just the local, like window capture. That's what I'm looking for, window capture, as opposed to just standard screen capture. But I'm not seeing that so much on. I'll figure it out. Things to do. Yes and no. Timu definitely. Pinduoduo, Timu is definitely low end products. It's amazing ordering things, and you'll see the pictures. Like, for example, a bag of peanuts, and you see this big bag of peanuts. Like, wow, look at this giant bag of peanuts. It's only $2. Oh my God, what a deal! And then you get the peanuts, and it's like a bag that's you could fit 10 in your pocket, right? It's only got 10 peanuts inside. But Taobao, no, absolutely not. In the past, yes, Taobao, you definitely would find that it was lower quality, that there were less vetted purchasers. And you can buy things like this. But you also know on Taobao when something is 20 renminbi, you're getting 20 renminbi worth. But on the other hand, you also can get very, very high-end, high-quality stuff on Taobao. For example, my imported cheeses I get from Taobao, and I love them. Absolutely love them. The price is amazing. For $20, I can get a wheel of Gouda that's literally this big around and this thick. There's no way I could buy that in a local store or even back in Canada for that price. And it's delicious. It is real. I've got, for my my Edmontonian fans out there, I've got an Edmonton Oilers official cap coming, which when I was back in Canada in October, I was unable to find because it was playoffs. And even if I had been able to find it, it would have been probably $50, between 35 and $50 plus, of course, tax and everything else, right? And so I was unable to get an Oilers hat, and I wanted to get an Oilers hat to wear back here because I'll be the only one. Lo and behold, I look on Taobao, and Oilers hat, official, very nice, good quality, and it will be delivered in a few days. I'll wear it in one of my upcoming streams, and it cost me $10, all in, delivered. So since I was unable to get an Oilers cap last time, I picked up an Edmonton Elks cap. Very nice quality. I like it. Now, the Elks are not as well-known a team here in China because obviously it's just recently been changed. However, I do have an Edmonton Eskimos jersey that I purchased here in China from a couple years ago, and I love it. Same type of quality as a jersey I would have bought back home, but I wouldn't have got that jersey back home for $20. That's for sure. So yeah, you've got to take sites like Taobao with a grain of salt. Yes, there can be low quality products, but again, like I said, this thing was $1.50, maybe $1.30. It works. Is it great sound quality? No. But for $1.30, just as a communication device, I love it. Absolutely love it. And like I said, I'm going to show you those products that are too cheap to be believable on Taobao, and probably even cheaper on Temu, and show you which ones are actually worthwhile. Like the little spyglass that says 2500 zoom. Is it real? Well, it only cost me $1 to find out. You know, Young, I've actually thought about that, about making direct sales to Canada. However, maybe in the future, Something like that might be more lucrative. But the problem for me is that I don't have. I'm a computer engineer by trade, and a teacher, but I don't have the knowledge or the connections for doing international trading. If I had somebody on the Canadian side that I could partner with to do this, it would be a lot more beneficial, I believe, and a lot easier. But at the moment, I just don't have those kind of connections, unfortunately. So for me to try to sell products overseas, I'd be going into it completely green, and I'd be making a lot of mistakes at first that could be costly, and well, who knows? Like I said, I'm changing up my content again here on YouTube a bit. Again, more generalist, talking more about, instead of just daily life and traveling, which is fine. Some people really do enjoy that, but if you look at my views for my recent videos, I'm only getting 100 views, 150 views on my videos, so they're not reaching that much of an audience. However, if I start talking a bit more about Mark Carney and President Trump, well, sorry, Dickhead Trump. Let me say the correct name. President Xi, about what's going on economically, like the exciting news that 46,000 EVs will be coming to Canada from China. If you have the ability or the desire, I would highly recommend getting one. I'm going to make a video about that because I love my Chinese EV. My car is completely Chinese, and I love it. Love it. It is the best car I've ever owned, without question, and the best price. But anyway, upcoming videos. But yeah, selling stuff overseas. RAM chips, this might be something that could become very interesting as well, because in the past, even here in China, most of the RAM chips have been made by Hynix, Samsung, and a few other top high-end Western manufacturers. However, China is now developing their own graphics cards, their own chipsets, and their own memory, which is exciting. My current system that I use now, both of them actually use completely Western parts, from Asus, from NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, etc. But in the future, I'm looking very, very forward to purchasing a system with all Chinese parts. Oh no, Sirant, they're going to be monitoring you. They're going to be spying on you. Whatever. I really don't care about people spying on me. I've never been one of those Big Brother conspiracy theorists. I personally consider my life so damn boring that they would lose interest in me immediately. Perhaps if I was an international spy, or if I were doing illicit trade or selling pornography or doing something else like that online, I might be a little more concerned about it. If perhaps I'd been to Epstein Island before. But as I'm not and never have been, I really don't care. Again, this is another topic that's coming up about those EVs and how Dog Ford in Ontario is saying, oh, they're going to be spying on us. They're going to be taking... Yeah, because the people who are going to be buying cheap Chinese EVs are politicians, corporate leaders, extremely wealthy people? No. Those people are going to continue buying American luxury cars so the American government can spy on them and see what they're doing. The people that are going to be buying those cheap EVs are liberals and hippies and people who care about the environment, who you can monitor them going to the weed store or to the supermarket or to the campground or wherever they might be going. It's not going to be passing any vital information to the Chinese government if they wanted to anyway. And plus, the reality is Samsung phones, iPhones, pick a brand, whatever brand your iPhone or your mobile phone is, it was made in China. If they wanted to get your deepest, darkest secrets, they just get it through your phone, like normal spies, not through your car. I find that just absolutely hilarious. There you go. Yeah, yeah. No back door. Nobody spying on you. Yeah. And really, if you're worried about people spying on you, you've got other things going on than worrying about buying a cheap EV or components from China. So there you go. There you go. You can't buy those hats in Calgary. Yeah, I guess not, because the Calgary in Calgary, why would you buy an Edmonton Elks cap? You'd want to be going out and buying a Stampeders cap, right? Well, I tell you, live streaming has come so far. Um, I remember years ago, if I wanted to watch an Oilers game or an Eskimos game live, it was tricky to find the streaming sites. The quality was always very, very poor. Um, it was tough. It was difficult. These days, no problem. I can watch live games in full HD on my big giant 4K TV in the living room, just like they were happening in front of me at the actual stadium. It's great. It's fantastic. With the increases in the speed of the internet here and the live streaming capabilities, the world is completely wide open. It's fantastic. But yeah, what do we got going on here? Oh wow, we've been streaming for almost an hour. This is great. This is really, really good news. Like I said, I'm testing out my little Linux box, and I may just use this for streaming in the future because this is turning out really, really good. Like I said, on Windows, OBS was having problems connecting to the streaming service. And even though this is not a powerful computer, this little mini PC, I think I bought it in Canada brand new for $150, and it's tiny. It's this. It's I don't have one sitting around, but yeah, it's about 6 inches square and then 2.5, 3 inches high. Fantastic little machine. Just absolutely love this. I've got another one that I take traveling with me, but I am thinking of getting a laptop as well. But yeah, this is working out really well. Not a single dropped frame in an hour. I'm going through the VPN. The quality seems decent, other than the shitty microphone losing its sound out of the blue. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it seems to be going really well. So I will definitely be using this as my little live streaming box, which is fantastic because my main computer it's beast. It's a supercomputer. Quite honestly, it's the hardware in it now is several years old, but at the time that I built it, it was the best of the best, and I use that for my video editing and for light gaming from time to time. But when I have the VPN installed on it, it does mess with my video editing software because I use Chinese video editing software. It's you probably if you edit videos, you might use the same software, but in China it's called Jianying. In English, it's called CapCut, and CapCut has a lot of fantastic features. However, you need to purchase the professional version in order to get all of the really, really good AI video and audio features. However, the pro version of CapCut for a year is like $500 US. Ouch. Whereas the pro version of Jianying, which is identical to CapCut, is 490 renminbi, which is about $70. Yeah, about 70 US dollars. So substantially cheaper, but you need to know how to read Chinese. I've been using it long enough that I can understand everything that I need to use in it. And if I ever get stuck, I can simply install CapCut, the regular version, the English version, and I can see all the features in English, but I can't use them because it's not registered. However, they're in the exact same position as the Chinese version. So if I'm looking for a specific feature, I can look and see where it is in the English version on one monitor, and then just go and use the exact same thing on the second monitor in Chinese. So it works really, really well. So yeah, not having the VPN on my main computer is very advantageous for the video editing. It's quite good. But like I said, I need to get the second monitor set up out here somewhere, some way make that work so that I can have the two screens, and then I can show you more things in the live streams. Convenient hypocrisy. Well, there's a lot of convenient hypocrisy these days, especially when it comes to Western politics, I tell you. Oh, you can't buy Chinese cars because the Chinese cars are going to be spying on you. Okay, but you spy on us. Everybody knows it, Doug Ford. There's absolutely no difference in worrying about whether China's spying on you or whether Canada's spying on you, other than Canada could actually take action and do something to you if they really wanted to, if they found something in their spying that they didn't like. Whereas in China, they, especially in my case, they wouldn't give a shit. They wouldn't care what I was doing. I'm just not that interesting a guy, as I said. But yeah, convenient hypocrisy. Yeah. Everybody's got one of these, right? This is my iPhone. And even though it's an American company, they are made in China. Yes, they are. The vast majority of these babies are made in China. And it would be so easy for the Chinese manufacturer Foxconn here to simply put a little spy chip in, unbeknownst to the Apple developers or the Apple company itself. But in fact, they would know anyway. They'd probably be using the same technology. But yeah, they could put this into your communication device so that every communication coming from senior staff members in the White House, leaders in the Parliament in Canada, the President, the Prime Minister, the CEOs of big corporations, they do all their business on these things. You'd get a lot more information from this than you would from their car. You know, what information are you going to get? The shopping habits, driving habits? Every Wednesday night at 3 o'clock, he goes to this place. What kind of illicit information can we derivate from that? Who cares? It's not interesting. You could just search his phone and find out exactly what he was doing at that place as opposed to just where he was driving to. But it's funny. Trump has been arrested. Ooh. I'd love to believe that, but I can't imagine it would be true. Really. God, that would be a celebration. I see one link to a YouTube video about it. But I don't think it can't be real. It can't be real. It's from a website, a YouTube channel called Players United Media. And it says that Trump is intercepted at the airport amid arrest warrant. Fleeing attempt fails. Can't buy it. Can't buy that. What the heck? I don't know if I'm still live here or not, but is my mouse? Of course. I think you're all still there, but one of the extreme downsides of using wireless technology, gosh, wireless technology is great, until the batteries die midstream. Yeah, I mean, But I just need to get another wired mouse again. Let me plug this in and see if it's usable while it's charging. It may very well not be. Yeah, you're kidding me. Hilarious. I wonder. Well, pardon me, people. I'm not going anywhere. I just gotta think of where. Da, 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 da. I do, of course, have backup mice. Just not with batteries in them. The battery ones, I prefer much more to the rechargeable ones, because the battery ones, you can just simply put a new battery in. Alright. Bear with me, people. Let's see if I can... Haha, let there be mouse. Are we all still there? Are we all still there? Yeah, it looks like we're all still here. But yeah, okay. It says Trump intercepted airport amid arrest warrant chaos. If Trump was really trying to flee the country, he wouldn't just go to a public airport. He's got Air Force One. He would go very, very surreptitiously and fly out of the country from a private airfield somewhere. He wouldn't go to any public airports. Why would he? He's got his own planes. He probably had his own planes hidden on runways long before he was president anyway. And I do suspect that he is going to flee America eventually. He's building up a massive fortune that he and his children and his grandchildren will never be able to spend. He's also developed a very nice relationship with Russia, which has famously taken in people who don't want to pay taxes or are in trouble from the law in the past, obviously for a nice fee. And yeah, I suspect that he will be gone to either Russia or some other country that has no extradition privileges or rights, though Russia is a safer one because it is a much bigger country. And he'll just be gone. He's using the presidency to enrich himself and to get fabulously wealthy, and then he will disappear, and nobody will ever see him again. That's my theory. He certainly has no interest in running the country or doing anything for the American people, other than the possibility he just wants to become Hitler. He wants to become the supreme overlord of the universe, which is not a stretch for him. But more than likely, he will just flee. He will just flee once things really start coming out. Forget about fraud and blue collar crimes, or white collar crimes, I should say. When the sex crimes really start coming out, he'll flee. That's my theory. And Carmen, as for can you get around blocks in China with VPN? You're looking at it, my friend. I am in China right now, live streaming on YouTube, which would not be possible without a VPN. Absolutely. Absolutely, you can get around the blocks. You can buy VPNs here. They're not illegal in China. A lot of the Western big corporate VPN providers don't work in China, but I use a couple that do work very, very well in China. One is a little bit more expensive. The other is very inexpensive. So yeah, absolutely. barring that, on my phone here, when I'm using the 5G network, I have a SIM card in here, a data card from Hong Kong that specifically works in mainland China. So when I do live streaming from my phone, I don't have to use a VPN at all. I can just simply switch the data from the Chinese SIM card to the Hong Kong SIM card, and I get beautiful streaming. I can access everything. So there's lots of ways around. You can purchase an eSIM from a company outside of China, and then use that information, that data. So there's lots of ways to get around the blocks. There's nothing that's blocked here in China to me, nor has it been in the entirety of the time that I've been here. I can't remember exactly when the Great Firewall came into being, but yeah, I've been pardon me, I've been streaming on YouTube since, or making videos for YouTube since 2006. Like 20 years. 20 years consistently, I have been using YouTube, creating content for YouTube. So yeah, there's no problem there. There's always a way around. Yeah, eSIMs work as well. There are a lot of eSIM providers, and again, the nice thing about those is that you don't have to have a VPN at all in many cases, and just connect directly. So then you'll get the full speed of the eSIM, whatever that connection speed is. So yeah, that's no problem. I have a physical SIM card in this one from Hong Kong. I do have to do some streaming to use up my data because I've still got about 18 gig worth of data. For a 1 hour stream, it uses about 1 gig of data. So yeah, it seems there's a bit of a lag when it comes to the live stream here, but that's to be expected. That's to be expected. But yeah, Trump has not been arrested to my knowledge yet. And should that happen, or should that even become a possibility, I'm sure we'll see a heck of a lot of that information online. That'll be the biggest story ever. Literally ever. It'd be impossible to find a bigger story than Trump being arrested, but it'd be a great idea. Great idea. Da, da, da. So far, so good. We've got 10 people watching here. If you happen to not be subscribed, please do subscribe. That'd be very, very nice of you. If it is taking a while for me to get to your messages, it's simply because of the live streaming. Well, you know, I sincerely hope. Oops. That's 2 keyboards, 1 brain. I've got the setup here. I've got 2 different systems running. But yeah, it's a little bit cloudy out today, a little bit gray. When I'm doing live stream with my phone, I'll show you what it looks like outside at the moment. But yeah. So any other questions? Definitely money flowing from the top. That's great. Oh, but eSIMs, yes. Yeah, censorship is complete propaganda. I've made several videos about using VPNs in China because they'll tell you online, oh, if you use a VPN in China, the police are going to come banging on your door in the middle of the night and haul you off to prison. No, they're not. You can buy VPNs in China. The only thing that is required, and it's similar to England and a couple of states now in America with porn sites, that if you want to purchase a VPN package, you have to use an ID card to buy it. It's not so that the government can monitor what you're doing on the VPN, because that's not how VPNs work. VPNs encrypt your data completely. So the data being sent from my system to the VPN server to another country is completely encrypted. It's not like they're spying on that information itself, but they want a record of who is using the VPN software in order to keep it out of the hands of kids. Right? Because then kids could use it to circumvent the restrictions and get to questionable material like pornography, like anti-China, anti-government propaganda, etc. So VPNs are completely legal. Think about this. All of the biggest companies in the world have manufacturing plants and retail business offices in China. Would it be feasible that not one of those companies could use a VPN to access their customers, their sales forces, their Google searches, things like that? That's insane. Nobody would be able to do business here. Period. And the fact that not only do foreigners and Chinese people, I know tons of Chinese people that use VPNs, not only do they use that software, but the fact that you can legally buy it in China, it's not illegal at all. They just like to say it's not, And it's again, it's you could become a criminal using a VPN, but you could become a criminal online without using a VPN too. The Chinese market is much, much bigger for looking for potential victims. There are 1.4 billion people in China. There are 34 million, or maybe it's 40 million now, in Canada. Much smaller market when it comes to finding people to scam or rip off or illicitly make money. But yeah, no, it's more designed to keep young people from accessing content that is inappropriate to them. And it's not just China doing that. Australia has banned social media in general for kids under 16. So kids under 16 can't even go to Facebook anymore, YouTube, Instagram, any of those type of social media platforms at all. And TikTok, oh my God, they lost TikTok. That's the end of their world, right? So it's no different than what is being done in other countries. I believe England is enforcing a social media ban on kids. Lots of other countries are talking about doing the same thing, So yeah, it's yeah, I've explained it in videos too about the VPNs. Jerry's take on China. I know Jerry personally. He and I used to work together. And again, he's a YouTuber, so obviously it's not illegal. He has worked for the Chinese government. He has worked for Chinese media outlets. If anybody were going to be arrested in China for using a VPN, it would be Jerry, because he works with the Chinese government, or at least has. Yeah, it's all a big scam. It's all meant to frighten people into not coming to China and not learning the reality. Oh, I agree. I agree. I think more people in general should be out fishing and playing. It honestly saddens me to see, not just here in China, but everywhere in the world. I've been to Canada recently. I've been to Thailand recently. I've been all over China recently. Thailand, China, Canada. I've been to these countries recently, and all I see is people walking around like this, literally walking down the street. Right now in human history is a fantastic time to be a foot doctor, someone specializing in broken bones and feet, because I can only imagine. I see people literally walking into traffic, staring at their phones until the cars honk at them. I see people tripping over stairs, tripping over a loose paving stone, everywhere, because they are like this. They're like this on the bus, walking down the street, in the elevator, in the toilet, in the restaurant, everywhere they go. They are addicted, and China is just as guilty of this, if not more so. Everywhere I go, all I hear is people watching Douyin videos. Chinese TikTok. Now, the Chinese government has taken steps to combat this, especially with kids. You'll see now that all the kids here have these smartwatches, and they're quite big, but they're very, very limited. They can phone home, they can phone their friends, they can use WeChat, and they can see very limited social media offerings, typically education related, but that's it. They have cameras on them, but they can't watch TikTok videos. They can't endlessly play games or do other things that people do with their mobile phones. It is purely a communication device. It also has a built-in GPS tracker so that parents will always know where their kids are at any given time. I think it's a brilliant idea. It opens up communication channels without putting a mini computer into the hands of kids. It's a great idea. It does allow them to go out and play more and do more with and still be connected, but without being addicted. That comes later. Once they're old enough to get a cell phone, it's game over. Kids will spend their entire days staring at their phones. This iPhone now, it's an iPhone 13 Pro. It's at least 5 or 6 years old. Still has the original battery in it. It lasts me all day because I don't do anything with it other than use it for my iPhone. I use for the China side of things. There's no VPN on here, so I use this for calling DDs, for shopping, for purchasing things, for contacting local people and businesses, WeChat, things like that. And then my other phone here, which is also a Chinese phone, but best phone I've ever owned. I use this for my VPN, so I can use YouTube, I can use Facebook, WhatsApp, things like that. I can do live streaming, make videos, etc. So I have the two distinct purposes, but I never run out of battery life because I don't sit there 23 hours a day staring at my phone. It's insane. It is really, really an addiction. No, I don't think the education focus puts any hindrance on social interaction and playtime. As much as the kids are in school a long time during the day, the kids also uh, get a lot of time off, a lot more than Western kids. For example, for Chinese New Year, they're getting an entire month off of school. Okay, so even though Chinese New Year doesn't start until the Chinese New Year officially is on February 17th this year, and the holiday, the official holiday for the adults, starts on the 15th. The kids have been off school since January 15th, maybe January 20th. So they get an entire month or more off of school. Then they'll get in total, not counting summer holidays, 30 days of holidays throughout the year, plus the 2 months in summer, plus at school every day. Yes, the kids are there and they work hard, but they also get a 2 hour break at lunch. And whereas you don't see them so much on weekdays because they do have a very, very solid workload of homework, the weekends are typically theirs. And yeah, it might cut into, or may seem to cut into, their social interaction and playtime, but nowhere near as much as using cell phones all day long does. Take my daughter, for example. She was a very, very hardworking student. She would leave the house at 6:30 in the morning and typically not get back till 10 p.m. because she would stay late at school for extra classes, for homework sessions, for sessions where there were teachers provided for kids if they wanted to really get a firmer understanding and grasp of the materials they were learning. She did very well on the Gaokao test, which is a massively difficult test which can really determine your future in China. And as a result of that incredibly hard work that she put in her youth, when she went to Canada and went to university for 4 years, the entirety of the 4 year term, she was the teaching assistant. Now, typically, they're only supposed to be teaching assistants for 2 years, but because She was so good at it, the university hired her for the entire 4 years to work as a teaching assistant. And she was shocked, literally shocked at not only how easy the curriculum was for her, but how poorly the local Canadian students did in comparison. She would say to me all the time, "Dad, I can't believe how poorly native English speaking Canadians can read and write English. It is shocking." She actually saw the marks. She marked the papers. She read the essays. She actually got first-hand insights into just how poorly the Western education system works. And that's an education system that does kind of put a little bit more focus on social interaction and playtime. So it's kind of one of those situations, right? Where is it more important for the kid to be socialized and have free time and playtime, or should the first generally instructive years of their lives be more focused on education so that when they come out later, they have much more opportunities and a much better grasp of the world around them? I'm personally of the belief that although the Chinese school system is difficult, I've been a part of it for 20 years and I've seen it through my daughter. She's also come out at the top of her class, has an incredible job in Canada now, and an incredibly bright future. Whereas kids that focus more on playtime and social interaction might be working at McDonald's. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. What? Master's level in mainland China is the equivalent of bachelor's in Western education system? I don't know where you saw that information from, but no damn way. I can't believe that for a second. Not for a second. As a teacher in China, no, no, that's completely wrong. That's completely wrong. Absolutely. I have known more college educated idiots in China that come here to be English teachers because they have a degree but have no formal education, that have no actual knowledge. And I know so many brilliant Chinese people with bachelor's degrees that blow those people away when it comes to wisdom, knowledge, and education. That's got to be misinformation being spread. There is no way that's true whatsoever. My daughter finished grade 12 here in China, and when she started university in Canada, and she spoke with the professors and they talked about her experience, her past, her levels. Of course, they want to test her to see if she's capable of holding the position as a teacher's assistant, a paid position. They were shocked at her mathematics level, at her scientific knowledge and ability. Nowhere even the same. The kids here in junior high school, middle school, are learning what kids or what adults in university are learning in America. That is a fact. No way in hell is the bachelor's in mainland China the equivalent of grade 12 in the Western world. No way in hell. The exact opposite. Absolutely. Again, as a father and as a teacher, I have seen this myself. The materials that my daughter was learning in high school in China were nowhere near the materials that she was learning in her bachelor's degree in Canada. Nowhere near. She found it easy. It was too easy for her. And that's why she had time to work as a teacher's aide. And she finished, I can't remember the Latin name for it. She wasn't the top. I can't even recall what that person is called. But she finished with some Latin term. She had the special ropes at her graduation. She was at the top of her class. She literally told me every day, "Dad, this is so damned easy. I learned this stuff in grade 10." and she was talking about AP mathematics, advanced placement mathematics, that she learned in grade 10 that were harder and much, much more challenging than what she was learning in she studied advanced science in university, and she found it all incredibly easy. Not honors. There's another term for it. Something cum laude, or some term, some Latin term for. Of course, she graduated with full honors, but she was at the top of the honors list. It wasn't just honors. Yeah, no, it's no, 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 absolutely false information. Complete opposite. Complete opposite. Like I said, my daughter said, "Dad, these people from Canada, they make so many spelling mistakes. They make so many grammatical errors. They don't know how to write English." And she's Chinese. She grew up and lived in China her entire life and went through the Chinese system. She said that the advanced placement mathematics in university, the advanced level, the highest level scientific mathematics, she found too easy. There was absolutely no challenge. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I don't know where that information came from, but it's absolutely false. Perhaps in the past, perhaps maybe in 2000. And again, consider that in the 2000s, there was so little known about China and what was actually happening here. And it was a different world. I was here in the early 2000s. I came in 2004, and it was nothing, nothing at all like it is now. China has changed and progressed and advanced so much in the past 20 years. Night and day. Completely different world. Absolutely. But yeah, my my daughter will tell you all about it. So what else? What else should we talk about here? Let me see. I'm surprised nobody's been bugging me today. It is Sunday. No. It's got a message from my buddy in Edmonton asking me if the little ones are asleep. Well, no little ones here, and yeah, he often forgets that it's the middle of the day. It's afternoon here, and in Edmonton, I guess it's probably 10 a.m., 10 or 10 p.m. I should say. Yeah. Oh, well, when it comes to Canadian schools doing a poor job of teaching English, absolutely right. I have to try so hard when I come back to visit Canada to not be the grammar Nazi and walk around and correct people and say, no, that's wrong. It's actually like this. I would do so here in China with my students. I would inform them of the correct way to say things, but typically they have no problems with English grammar here. It's something that's just drummed into their head, much more so than pronunciation and speaking. But it just drives me nuts. For example, in Canada, and I hear this all the time. Oh, I seen a movie yesterday. Oh, I seen my friend crossing the street. I seen. No, you didn't. You saw. You saw. You're using the incorrect term. Always. This is the most, in my opinion anyway, the most commonly mispronounced, or sorry, misused word in Canadian English is seen. People do not know the difference between seen and saw. Have seen. I have seen a movie. I saw a movie. I didn't seen a movie. Drives me crazy. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. It's insane. It's crazy how much that one is misused, more so than any other type of grammatical error. But as far as what I think about the implications of AI and robotics, scary, scary. Now, here in China, not so much, because I was discussing this in my last job. I worked in a British new energy company that was creating battery power packs and storage solutions, solar panels, things like that. And the boss from England, biggest dick I ever met in my life. I hope he's watching this live stream, but I know he's not. What a loser. He drove his own company into the ground by being rude and an asshole to all his Chinese staff. But anyway, that's a story for another day. He was desperately trying to completely automate the production, the manufacturing facility. He wanted people out of there. Instead of 100 workers doing a good job, he wanted 4 workers and machines doing the rest, right? Because, of course, he thought that it would save time, save money, machines are perfect, etc., etc. However, the big problem is the machines were not perfect. And in order to make that type of production line work, he would have to re-engineer everything. He wanted to build a unit that was typically held together with 10 screws, and we're talking a 1,000-pound battery unit. Okay, he wanted to remanufacture that so that it would be held together with 2 screws or no screws, but that would require very complex manipulation of the parts by these robots to make it work properly, as opposed to dropping a plate on top and another machine putting in 4 screws. He wanted it to be able to take it, slide it, manipulate it into a locking device, etc. It was a nightmare. But his goal was to get rid of all, or at very least almost all, of the manufacturing staff. And so I talk about this with my engineers. And I said, well, if that actually works and you go completely robotic in the factory, what about your job? And they said, well, what are you talking about? I said, well, you design blueprints. You design PCB boards. You design programs to make all those parts work together. Couldn't AI do that as well? AI doesn't need sick days. AI doesn't need regular holidays or going to visit their family. AI doesn't get pregnant or get married. So isn't it feasible that AI could do the engineer jobs as well? They've already shown that anybody, I can go to an AI system, Grok or Chat GPT or Dobao or anything like that, and I can tell the AI to write me a program to achieve a certain task, and it will do so. And it will probably do so better than I ever could, being that I'm not a programmer, or even faster than someone who was a programmer, and with less errors, with less debugging. So I looked at them, I said, so what do you think? I mean, in the future, you wouldn't need managers to coordinate the staff together. You wouldn't need engineers to design the PCB boards. You wouldn't need programmers to take care of writing the software. So couldn't your jobs be at risk as well? And they kind of thought, shit, really it could. Now, when it comes to fine tuning, well, if without the implication of human error, why would you need fine tuning? If AI and robots could do it perfect the first time, every time, you would need fine tuning. So in an ideal world, according to my old boss, there would be no humans. It would just be a factory pumping 24 hours a day out those products to be sold. However, my concern is, what about those workers? Now, AI is already starting to drive the taxis, deliver food. It's starting to take over the more menial tasks. There are robotic cleaners in the airports and train stations. There are drones that do deliveries. There are robotic cooking devices, etc. So once we start getting rid of all the menial laborers, and then we start getting rid of the white-collar laborers, sure, the companies are going to save tons of money. They're going to make a fortune. But who are they going to sell their products to? If nobody's got a job, how are they going to provide that fortune to the companies? If you lay off all of your manufacturing staff, all of your R&D staff, all of your engineering and finance staff, how do those people buy TVs and new cars and go on vacations? Why not? If they develop AI robots that can do very high-end, skillful manufacturing, why couldn't they maintain themselves as well? Really? Right now, they need humans to do that, but if it keeps progressing at the way that the companies want, they would just have AI repair bots, robots that would go and fix things. Why not? That seems perfectly feasible to me. So here in China, the only solution to that would be the government providing a universal income. Now, in a purely communist or socialist society, that could work. China is not a purely communist or socialist society. So, is it feasible that people would stop working and accept a salary, a universal income, based on their education level or based on what they did in the past? Because what about future generations? If you knew that you were going to get paid a certain amount, why would you bother spending so much money on university? Unless it was free and you were doing it out of interest. But why would you get educated? Just collect your universal income and be done with it. Why would you want to be the head of a corporation or start a company if people weren't, if you weren't going to earn that giant salary? Where it really removes motivation from the deal. It's going to turn society into slugs, people that never move, that never leave their homes, right? There's no need for education. There's no need to go to work every day. The corporations would eventually lose money, because how would the government pay for that universal income? Just start printing their own money? I know in America they might do that at first, but eventually it's going to have to be the corporations that pay for that. So it's going to be, lie flat and let it rot. Exactly. That's exactly the situation. That's the only thing that would work. If you take away too many jobs from society, people aren't going to have money to buy anything. If they can't buy anything, then you just wasted all your money on robotics and AI, building products that nobody can afford, that nobody wants. So the only solution in that situation is universal income. Now, again, in China, I could see that as happening. I could see the government enforcing corporations to pay into a program of universal income. Now, would it be fair? Why would you give a higher salary to an engineer who's not working than a floor sweeper who's not working? Why? Neither of them is working. The engineer is not using their advanced knowledge and skill set any more than the street sweeper is using their basic knowledge and skill set. So why would you give them more? It completely removes motivation to do anything. But again, I could see the Chinese government doing it if necessary for the good of the people. But it would certainly be an annoyance for the high-earning, highly educated people, and it would be fantastic for the low-earning people that didn't need to do those menial jobs anymore, that they could get paid probably more than they were getting before. But what about in America? Would the U.S. government, or Canadian government for that matter, be willing to shell out a universal income for the entire country just so that the corporations could save money and move away from having a human workforce? I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. It's a nice idea. Right now, it's being sold as the next big thing. AI, robotics. It's going to take all the menial jobs away. It's going to make the life into a beautiful place. It's going to turn us all into fat zombies, sitting with reality, those virtual reality glasses on our heads, weighing 500 pounds, being fed through a tube, and living in the Matrix. That's the only way that AI and robotics taking over the manufacturing and menial labor and quite possibly white collar jobs and educated jobs. It's the only way that works. We're all going to become cogs that feed the AI machine. It'll be interesting. It won't happen in my lifetime, but I think I'm actually glad I'm not going to see that. Well, if you make AI smart enough, it's not a matter of them connecting them together. It's a matter of AI connecting itself. I don't personally. I'm now, like I said, now I am semi-retired. I am going to be comfortable for the rest of my life, no matter what. I own a house that they can't take away from me. No mortgage broker or bank is ever going to repossess my house or foreclose on my mortgage. I have a place I can live. Food, cost of living is super, super cheap. So I'm comfortable. I'm not worried about losing my job. This is my job, people. This is it. Like I said, I'm changing my format a bit. I need to start making more videos and more live streams because I'm not making any money anymore. I tell you, if I'm completely honest, I'm making $30 a month off of YouTube right now, just simply because it seems that the travel videos and the real life videos, as much as there are people that really like them, more people like the politics and the kind of more generalized videos about China and its interactions with the world around it, the geopolitics, than they do about my personal existence. Now, I wish I were one of those people like Itchy Boots, who my mother tells me about a lot, or these world travelers that go from place to place and have millions of people sharing their adventures. Millions of people aren't sharing my adventures. But there was a time when I was having 20, 30, 40,000 people sharing my rather jaded and interesting opinions about China and life in China and things like that. So we'll do more of that. But yeah, this is my job. This is my existence right now. So that's fine. AI can't take that away from me, though. I suppose they could. There's always that temptation. Jen Ying now, the video editor that I use, has an AI feature built into it, which on other platforms costs tons and tons of money. Like we're talking thousands of dollars a year if you want to use the full AI interaction. So basically, you can type in something like, "Why is Donald Trump considered to be the biggest criminal and con man in American history, and what can be done to stop him?" You can type that into an AI engine, and it's going to search the internet for information. It's going to create a script. It's going to read that script in a multitude of different voices. It's going to find images and videos to play in the background. It will create an avatar if you want. So basically, you type in 2 sentences, and it will create a 10-minute video for YouTube. It does everything for you. But I hate those videos. Lots of people dislike those videos. That said, there are a lot of people that, a lot of those type of completely AI voice sites that often make mistakes or mispronounce words, etc. That AI voice drives me crazy. I hate it. But those channels are still getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers, so they're still making money from it. So as much as a lot of people don't like those AI videos, they are out there and they are making money. And it's as easy as typing 1 or 2 sentences into a prompt and it does the rest. Jen Ying now has that same feature. I can type in what information I want. I don't have to type in an entire script. I don't have to type in detailed information. I can type in, for example, create a 10-minute video about the rise to power of President Xi Jinping in China. And I can create it in a cartoonish format, in a fantasy format, in a real format where it goes out and finds real pictures and videos. It will go out and determine the entire chronological history of President Xi. It will find pictures of him from his youth, from now, etc. It will put them all together into a video. I don't have to do anything. It'll do that for me as part of the software built in now. However, it's not really my style. I don't really like it, and I doubt that my viewers would like it either. I think most people that watch me and have watched me in the past are more interested, in my opinion, even when, and quite often they haven't, they don't agree with it. I just, I got tired of the dumbasses that would come on and go, well, what about Tiananmen Square? Whatever. This is not Tiananmen Square. This is modern days. Let's move along. But that seems to be a lot more popular. And thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that you find my perspective valuable. It is. I find it interesting too because, like I said, I've lived here for so long. I've seen China change so dramatically in the past 22 years. Night and day difference. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I took that chance back in 2004. I had a high-paying job. Well, high-paying but very highly taxed and very unfair job. Working for Hewlett-Packard, biggest computer company in the world at the time. And I told my boss, "Yeah, I'm going to go teach kids English in China for $1,000 a month." What? Are you crazy? Well, apparently I wasn't. So yeah, I've seen it from top to bottom here, and I'm so thankful I did. I'm a little bit sad that I didn't come sooner, and really witness those tremendous changes from an even earlier perspective. But hindsight is 2020. Recently on YouTube, somebody's been throwing out AI videos on finance history and stuff all the way from 1300s. Well, you're right, Yong. You're right. Live streaming has always been a bit of a pain in the butt because of the VPNs, because of the internet connection, etc., etc. Like I said, that's why I'm doing this now. I'm back with my old Logitech camera. Sound quality is crappy. I'm going to get a different microphone. Trying out this little mini PC so I don't have to make too many adjustments on my main PC. But I do want to do more live streaming because in the past, when I'm doing it, I've always kind of thought, well, because of my old format, of being outdoors, showing the real life, that I'd always need to go out and find something. I'd have to go find a place to go do a live stream. I'd have to travel there. I'd have to get everything set up, sit there with a tripod outside, etc., etc. And it's as my British buddy would say, it's been a bit of a ball ache. And I wasn't doing live streams as much. Whereas, like I said, I decided I'm just going to start doing more videos here in my office. This is my own little room here. I've got my camera, so now when I want to do a live stream on a Sunday morning, which will be Saturday night for everybody back in North America, I can just flick on the computer and away I go. I can start, if something recently has happened that I think is interesting that I want to talk about, I can do it. I can make videos this way. Now, that said, I'm still going to make videos outside. I'm still going to go have fun and show you different cool things in China. I'm going to make a lot more shorts. I didn't make many short videos before, but I'm going to start to, those seem to be more popular than my long videos these days. So I'm going to continue making that. But yeah, I went through a period of kind of transition, you'd call it. I went to Canada for a while. It was horrible. Sorry, Mom. I love my mom. She's probably still watching. But just the gout killed me. Oh my God, I had such a hard time. I could barely walk back in Canada, and then when I got back, I had to recover from that, and then of course the bicycle accident. And this has been this string of events which has kind of slowed down the process. The kids with firecrackers are right downstairs here. God, they've got a huge variety of them. The kids all have these firecrackers now that are about the size of your finger, actually, and they're like a wooden match. In the old days, you just basically they have a striker on it. You strike it and throw it. So they don't actually have to have a lighter to light the fuses anymore. They can just strike it like a book of matches. But yeah, I need to start as my wife says, pumping out content. I need to start really giving you guys more, giving you more to see, more to do. So when I'm out, I will do more live streams and more videos. But I'm also going to take advantage of this right here, right now, and start doing live streams, start being more available so that people can come and ask me questions. I really appreciate those of you that are out there right now. There are quite a few of you out there. Now that's a good idea. I think I'd seen that somewhere once before, using incense to light the firecrackers in the old day. That's not a bad damn idea, because then you could put that nasty, super powerful bottle rocket thing on the ground, take the nice long incense stick, touch it to the end. Because the thing that scares the shit out of me, literally, about these firecrackers is the kids will scratch it, and sometimes the striking pad is not good anymore. They've used it too much, so it doesn't light. So then they'll find a lighter somewhere, and they'll light the end of it, and then quickly throw it away. Or they'll light it, and they'll throw it, and it doesn't explode. So you can see little gears turning in their heads. Should I go over there and pick it up and relight it? Should I do something else? And it's like, no, kids, don't. Oh my God, keep your fingers while you're young. Trust me, you're going to want those later in your life. There's too many horror stories of kids blowing off their fingers. Technically, firecrackers of that nature are not legal in China. However, it's one of those gray areas where if people are willing to sell them and people are willing to buy them, people can. They don't have huge enforcement, especially in smaller communities like this, because firecrackers and fireworks are a big part of Chinese culture. But I find them horrifyingly scary. Not in the device itself, but just that the kids love them so much, and they're at such a risk of blowing little fingers off, really. And some of them are just terrifying. Some of them are huge. They're incredibly loud. It's like a gunshot happening right behind you. I really dislike those, especially when you're walking down the street and it's like, oh my God. Who knows? Maybe that's how I'll die someday, an instantaneous firecracker-related heart attack. Yeah. They do try to control it, but again, if there's somebody selling them, there will be somebody buying them. It's just like other laws here and everywhere else. Smoking is not allowed in restaurants or bars, but if you go out to the bar, everybody's smoking. The bar manager will come over and light your cigarettes. In the restaurants, there's signs everywhere that say no smoking. People smoke. Gambling is illegal here, but all I see in this neighborhood are these little businesses that rent out mahjong tables to the old people to gamble. Again, it's one of those illegalities that's not really paid attention to. There's lots of examples of that. Thailand is a beautiful example of that. So many people don't realize that prostitution is illegal in Thailand. But there aren't many places you can go in Thailand that don't have massage parlors with pretty girls flagging you in very openly, offering you services that are technically illegal, but just nothing is done about it. The same can be said here, Japan, other Asian countries, even other Western countries. To my knowledge, prostitution is still illegal in Canada, though I'm not sure. As someone who doesn't avail of those services, I've never really looked into the legality of it. To my knowledge, in Canada, it is still illegal. However, right across the parking lot from my last job in Canada, there was a quote-unquote rub and tug, a gentleman's massage featuring a discreet entrance around back. So it's a gentleman's massage with a discreet entrance around back. That's not prostitution? Come on. Open. openly doing it, and yet it's one of those things. So yeah, firecrackers are another one of those things that are technically illegal, that they shouldn't be doing, other than for certain events. I really love the way China now is even moving away from fireworks, especially for the big events and the big shows, and using these amazing drone shows, which are, in my opinion, much more amazing than any firework could ever be. They're just stellar. But yeah, society hasn't quite moved past that point yet. It's nowhere near as bad now as it used to be. When I lived in Shenzhen, in some of the buildings, if the kids outside now were blasting off firecrackers, the security guards would be chasing them down. You want to do that, get the hell out into the public. Go on the streets or go into somewhere where I can't see you. You can't do it in my complex. But here, the security guards don't care. The kids are blasting off firecrackers, and they're even putting the firecrackers in soda cans and things like that to get the bigger explosion. But yeah, one does what one can. But yeah, the drone shows are crazy. They're amazing. The technology that they put into those things are awesome. I love drones. I've got my little drone here. I love this guy. I don't use him enough. This is literally the cheapest drone you can buy in China. It's, I guess, about $200, something like that. It's amazing. It's the DJI Neo. I can put it on my hand and push a button. It'll follow me. It'll go in front of me in interview mode. It'll circle around. It'll fly completely autonomously. Or I can control it from my phone, or I could buy a remote control for it. But look at that little baby. It's just, I love it. I love it. It'll even follow me around. If you've seen any of my videos, it'll follow me around on my bicycle, different things like that. But I just haven't been getting out. I just haven't been doing as much. But Jayo, that is changing. That is changing. Live streams are going to be coming more frequently. Live streams don't really make a lot of money, unfortunately. I'm not sure how the ads work, on whether they're showing ads or how often they show ads on the live streams, but yeah, they don't make a lot of money. The money makers tend on my channel to be talking politics, geopolitics, talking about China's interactions with the rest of the world. So I'm going to start making some more of those videos again, but don't worry, travel videos as well. Like I said, I really want to get back to Shanwei and show you guys more stuff. I did do videos in Shanwei, but there's so much more to see. I love it there, and it's so damn easy. Shanwei is how far away is Shanwei? I'm curious. Shanwei, from where I am right now, is 170 kilometers, 105 miles. A train ticket is $5. High-speed train. High-speed train. $5 or about $3.75 US. And it takes me about 25 minutes to get there. 170 kilometers and 25 minutes for $5. Get a hotel room there, right on the main strip where the entire nightlife is, booming until 4 o'clock in the morning. Isn't it $10? Unless I want to splurge, I could splurge. Next time I go, I will splurge. And I can get the hot tub room that has a hot tub right next to the bed in the hotel. And that one's 15. Well, that one's oh yeah, no, sorry. That one's $20. The standard room is $10 a night. Insane, and that's Canadian dollars. So I'm still gonna make those kind of videos too, but I want to liven it up a bit. I want to actually turn this into a viable job. Now it won't take much. It won't take much. If I could make $700 to $1,000 a month here in China, being that I own a home and that my cost of living is so low,